Welcome back to our Network Marketing Success Series. I'm Scott. Today we're focusing on something that is very, very important. Everything that I bring up is very, very important, but sometimes they seem small in the grand scheme of things. Being great at anything involves being great at the small things. So let's talk about creating your personal why story and why possibly that's one of the most powerful tools in your network marketing arsenal. So it's not just a nice addition to your business. It's the emotional engine that actually drives everything else in your whole business, okay? In my own personal business, my own personal growth, I've noticed that when I've had a clear, authentic, and compelling story, I consistently outperform the times that I didn't. Regardless of the product or the compensation plan, that why always drives everything. So in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to craft a launch story that will resonate with your prospects. It's going to build trust, and it's going to create that emotional connection, which is so important in your success journey. So let's go ahead and let's dive in, okay? Before we jump into the how-to though, let's understand why your story is so crucial to your success. So remember, decisions, they're emotional, they're not logical, right? Neuroscience, it shows that people make decisions based on emotion, and then what they do is they justify them with logic. So your story, it taps directly into that emotional decision-making process. Second, stories create connections, okay? Stories sell. In a business built on relationships, stories bridge that gap between you and your potential partners or customers way, way, way more effectively than just specs or talking about compensation plan details. Now, third, your story is uniquely yours, so it's genuine. In the marketplace where products, opportunities, posts on social media all seem similar, promising the same things, your authentic story, it's a great differentiator. It will draw the people to you. And finally, your story fuels your own persistence. So on challenging days, and yes, there are challenging days, as you probably already know, a meaningful why will keep you moving forward where others may quit. So with that understanding, let's go ahead, let's explore the four components of your perfect launch story. The first component of your story is actually your authentic starting point, where you were before this opportunity and why you were open to it, all right? Now the key is honesty. You don't want to embellish. Many new distributors, they feel like they need to tell their after before they include their before, right? So they need to kind of embellish where they started at. But being vulnerable is very, very powerful in online marketing, much more so than just manufactured stories. So your starting point should definitely be honest and be relatable to other people. It should highlight your challenges or your aspirations that other people might share with you. And include specific details that make it real. Feel comfortable to share it over and over because not everybody sees every post that you make on social media. So for example, instead of saying, I was looking for an opportunity, try something like, as a working parent with 2 young children, I was constantly missing important moments in their lives because of my 50-hour work week and my draining commute. I kept thinking there had to be a better way to provide for my family without sacrificing these precious years. So see how specific that is? It makes it much more authentic. So while the underlying desire, more family time, it's very, very universally relatable. Take a moment to think about this, right? What was your genuine situation before this opportunity that you're in? What specific challenges or aspirations made you open to something new? Because chances are your ideal audience has those same challenges and those same aspirations. Now, the second component is your turning point, right? It's the moment you discovered this opportunity and what specifically caught your attention. So your turning point should always answer these questions. How did you first encounter this opportunity? What initially caught your interest? Why was the timing significant for you? And what made you overcome any initial skepticism? Those are 4 very, very important questions. Here's a great example, okay? My college roommate, who I've always respected for his business sense, he reached out after we hadn't spoken for months. He seemed, genuinely excited about something that was changing his family's financial situation and changing his life. So what caught my attention, it wasn't just the products or the income opportunity. It was seeing how his entire philosophy, his entire demeanor had changed. He seemed less stressed, seemed more present with his family. And then when he mentioned the low startup cost and the team support system, I realized that it might be the solution I've been searching for. So think about this example, okay? Think about it and how it includes a specific person, an observation about their transformation. Recognize that it doesn't have to be your transformation, right? And the particular aspects that overcame potential objections. So then what you need to do is consider turning your own turning point. What details made this opportunity stand out from others you may have encountered? Let's talk about and move on to the next component, and that is your vision and your motivation, okay? Entrepreneurs have to have a big vision. So it's your personal why that drives you forward. So this is where many people, they fall short. They're creating whys that are very generic or just based on money, right? A compelling why actually has these characteristics. It's very specific to you and your situation. It's emotionally meaningful to you. It's connected to your core values, and it's strong enough to sustain you through challenges. So you want to have a really big, strong, powerful why statement. So, for example, instead of saying, I want financial freedom, try saying, for me, success in this business means being able to pay off our $42,000 in debt, which has been creating tension in our marriage. Beyond that, I want to build enough residual income to reduce my hours at work from 50 to 25 per week, so I can be home more, spend more time with the kids, attend all their sporting events, and not have to miss out on family time. See how specific that is? It has numbers, has clear emotional stakes, right? And it has tangible lifestyle changes that can create a vivid picture. So your why, it should also feel slightly vulnerable to share. If it doesn't stir emotion in you, it's not going to stir any emotion in other people either, right? So take a few minutes, work on this. Reflect now on your deepest motivation. Go really deep. Be very specific. What specific change would success in this business create in your life? And why does that matter so deeply to you? How would your life look totally different? Now, the fourth component is your invitation and your vision for others. So how you extend your story to include your potential team members, all right? This transforms your story from just your story to an invitation, right? It should acknowledge that your story is still unfolding. It should express genuine enthusiasm for the journey. It should create a vision of possibility for others, and also include that natural transition to authentic conversation. Here's an example that you can think of, okay? I'm still at the beginning of this journey, but already we've been able to pay down $8,000 of medical debt. Last month, I was able to reduce my schedule, 1 shift per week. I'm seeing how this business model can work for busy professionals like me, and I've become absolutely passionate about sharing it with other parents who are feeling the same pressures financially and time-wise that I was facing. So I'm curious, have you ever thought about creating a second income stream that could give you more flexibility? Now, what I want you to do is, first of all, don't use this story, right? Make it your own, make it real, make it authentic. But notice how this example, it includes early results. It acknowledges the journey is ongoing. It creates a vision for a specific group. And it transitions naturally to a question, right? So think about your own invitation. How can you authentically express your enthusiasm while creating space for others to see themselves in the opportunity? Now, let's go ahead and let's take a few minutes to put all of these components together into a cohesive, meaningful story, all right? Remember, your complete story, it should flow naturally between components. It should last just between 60 and 90 seconds. It doesn't have to be, a novel. It should feel conversational, not rehearsed, and focus on emotions and aspirations, not products or compensation. And then you want to end with an open-ended question that invites a response. And then be silent. Wait for that response. So the key to mastering your story is practice. Any of these components, it's practice. Write it out completely, then practice telling it conversationally. Record yourself, listen back, share it with friends or your upline, and get some feedback, right? Take that feedback constructively. Remember, your story is going to evolve as you progress in your business, and that's normal and powerful. Your developing story, what it does is it shows the real impact of the opportunity. So even though you might just be at the beginning right now, think of components of how it's been different from other things, right? And if you don't have anything currently, then use your direct upline story, okay? Use them as an example. Use your name, or use their name, I'm sorry. All right, so action steps, right? Very important. Education without implementation is just entertainment. So here are your action steps. Set aside 30 minutes uninterrupted today. Do it today. Draft your story with all 4 of those components, okay? Record yourself telling that story and listen to it critically. Be honest with yourself, all right? Practice with your upline or another mentor for feedback. And then commit to using that story in your next 3 prospect conversations. And then finally, refine it based on real world reactions and responses. You know, your story, it's not just something that you tell, it's the foundation of your authentic connection with prospects. So invest the time to craft it well, and it's going to become your most valuable business building asset. So in our next video, we're going to cover exactly how to recruit your first 2 team members in your first week. Make sure to subscribe. I hope you found value in this video. If you have, drop a comment below with your biggest insight, and I will see you in the next video.